What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Stick. Just letting you know that today's episode is sponsored in part by Anchor. If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. First of all, it's free. And I know that alone should just sell it, but I have a couple more things to let you know about it. They have creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone to computer. It's hella convenient. Anchor will also distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Music, and many other more podcast websites. So you don't have to go ahead and do the hard work of trying to upload your podcast to separate websites your own. Also, you can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. So go ahead and download the Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. Peace. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the G.O.A.T Talk podcast. It's your boy Stick. Got two of my favorite individuals, two of the goats out the herd.
We back.
Got my homeboy James, main man Hank with me.
Yo.
Welcome to the show, fellas. How y'all feeling?
Feeling great, man. Good week.
Good week.
I'm feeling alright. I'm liking y'all excitement. Y'all are like...
No, I'm always excited, today's a really exciting episode.
This is different energy. I like it.
Exactly, right?
I like
so
it.
I always say that we have a special guest in the building. Anytime we do have a special guest, but today I really feel like it's a special guest. Not only for what he was able to do for me and my brothers personally, but I know from talking to my moms and other people in the neighborhood, just the reputation this man has, especially in the city. Because that's what we about mainly, putting on for our city, things like that. So without further ado, we have Mr. Hornsby in the building. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. What's up?
Yo, man, how you?
I'm good. Glad to be here. Thank you.
So for the select few that may not know who you are, a little bit about yourself, this is your first time being on the show.
Yes,
Hopefully it won't be the last. We was trying to get you on our live show. Still is going to happen, but we thought in the between time, why not bring you on the show? So could you tell those little people about yourself?
Well, y'all say Mr. Hornsby, but Rashaan is my name.
That's
Rashaan.
what my mom.
Because I'm like, I'm not about to keep calling
Exactly, like Rashaan, we gonna be cool, like
we alright, Mr. Hornsby.
So yeah, Rashaan Hornsby is my name. That's my government, but Rashaan is cool. You know?
Okay.
A lot of people call me a lot of different things in different circles, but Rashaan is cool. Born and raised in Camden, proud of that. Business owner, father, you know, I feel like it's just a regular dude, but just, you know, driven, driven and sure of myself. I know what I want, passionate about what I want, and, just a regular guy, man. I don't even like, I really don't even like to talk about myself, to be honest. Like, that kind of embarrasses me. I don't like to sleep in a trophy room. I always feel like I have to accomplish more. So, like, I've done a lot, but it's some things I don't even really talk about,
I get that, but it's always, it's the difference between being, like, humble and then not giving yourself the due of respect.
Yourself.
Exactly.
Yeah. A lot of people tell me that. That's a true thing. I mean, because I feel like, I don't know, like, I know everything I have comes from God, but at the same time, I feel like I'm not where I want to be. So
right.
I'm my own critic.
Absolutely.
I beat myself more up than I feel like than anybody could ever challenge me. I challenge myself that way because I know I can't be perfect, but I strive for perfection in almost everything that I do.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I do have some wins. I have some trophies.
There we go.
That's
a highlight.
This I'm here for.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
This a high flex zone over here.
Definitely.
So we most
definitely have some trophies.
Encourage all the flexing, all the
sure.
goodness. Because, tomorrow ain't promised. So if you got to live it up today and appreciate what you have today. Like, I look myself in the mirror, damn, you did it again. Just waking up, you done did it again.
Absolutely. I had one of those tonight when I was closing up my store.
Mm-hmm.
I was actually going to go home and get ready for the show tonight. My girl texted me. I was like, I'm going to lock up the store. And I was closing up my clothing store, Magic on Hatton, located 1216 Hatton Avenue, Camden, New Jersey. Got to plug that. You know,
Absolutely.
Shout out to my partner, Astro Eye. So I was closing up the store, and before I hit the lights, I just stood there, and I just said, you know, all praise due to the Lord. And I was just in a moment, just looking at the store, like I was proud of myself. Like it was a moment where, you know, I don't know if you ever had that moment. I don't know if you play sports or it's when you get that new job or, you know, you do something for somebody, you always wanted to do something for, you know, and you had that moment with yourself and you just like, I did that shit, you know, and it's like, that's a good thing. I had that moment tonight, so.
That's beautiful. You gotta play this song when you hear that. When you having that type of moments.
Yeah, I had that moment tonight.
I knew it.
You throw this song. We had them championships, Meek Mill moment. Shout out to my nigga Meek.
Shout out to Meek, absolutely.
Like, all jokes aside, that's lit though. That's a lot of people I know. Dreams is to have their own clothing store and things like that. So for you to be able to have that and still want to grow upon that, that's just the first step to what you're trying to get into. Yeah. That's just,
I mean, even to go deeper tonight, my boy B, shout out to B from Milestone Catering.
Shout out to B.
You know, he came in tonight and bought some visionary t-shirts. And when he was leaving out, shout out for the love and everything. And this is not a negative by any means. He said, yo, bro, I'm going to come in. I'm going to support you more. He's like, I'm definitely going to, you know, come in and get all my t-shirts from you. And when he said that, I was like, I want him coming to get all his shit from here.
Not even
like,
just,
not just his
t-shirts.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
It was like, thank you for the love. And he ain't said it was no malice. It was all love. But I was like, you know what I mean? Just my energy, like I said, of always pushing myself was like, nah, I don't want to just be your t-shirt dude. I want to be your go-to guy.
Get the whole drip.
You know what I'm saying? I want you to get your whole drip from here. You feel me? So I was like, I got to work on him. You know what I'm saying? I got to work on that. And it was just like, they're the type of things that I put inside of myself that nobody can see. That's my drive. You know, that's my, you know, it's my push for myself. It's like, you know, some people might say, yo, damn, the store is dope. You whatever. Nah, like I want, you know what I mean? It's like everybody don't know. I was telling my partner, we were talking about that the other day, having a meeting. And I said, everybody don't know about the store. I was like, yo, we got to go get like 10,000, 20,000 palm cards and just go hit every part. I was like, we got to go Kramer Hill, you know, Fairview, East, everywhere has to know about Magic on Hatton. You know, so it's like, we got to push this brand. So, you know, it's like always being hungry, always wanting more, you know, listening to, you know, what people say, even now with the store, having a lot more women options in our store because, you know, the women are the ones that spend the money, you know, so, you know, a lot of, you know, not wanting to just be known as a t-shirt or sweatshirt, you know, shop, you know, even though we carry all the local brands, but I want women and men and kids to be able to come in there. Same type of fly you can get at the Cherry Hill Mall or King of Prussia, you can get that at Magic, you know, and it's kind of on a boutique level. It's more of a specialty because you can't even get our shit in those stores.
Right.
You know, and that's where I wanted to be at. You feel me? Like, you can't go to Cherry Hill Mall and get the Visionary Drip. You can't get the Uzi. You can't get the AVR. You know what I mean? You can't get the Ocean Revenue. So that's where I wanted to be.
The select few.
Yeah.
Select few.
And it's like black excellence. You know, it's like, that's what I'm about, period. Every brand is independent. You know, we just today signed up a young lady, you know, her and her husband have a brand, you know, so Lotus Lux, you know, shout out to them today and there. And they're in our store. She has a lot of crazy new stuff, but just giving people the opportunity because people gave me the opportunity, and it's like, you know, we need to empower ourselves, you know, empower each other, you know. So instead of our, you know, me and my partner looked at it like, instead of people still hustling out the backseat of their cars, they can do that. That's a grind. But why not have your stuff in a brick and mortar? You know, where it's an establishment where people can go, you know, come purchase your stuff online, in store, you know, and you can still grind and hustle, but, you know what I mean, it's another option for yourself, you know. So if you from the streets, just like, you know, one corner can bang, but you like, yo, I got all this work, I gotta expand. You know what I mean? So it's like, you feel me? That's what I try to tell people. It's like, it's nothing different in the hustle, especially if you from the streets. It's just changing your product. It's It's just different.
I've heard that before.
It's no different. You know what I mean? That's it, really.
It's this quote by Elon Musk. He was like, basic like drug dealers know how to run a business more than like 90% of like real business owners. Yeah. And like, that's really true, bro. When you think about like our man, bro, like our wee man, he fund literally his whole life off this, right? And he been doing this since back when we was teenagers. The man got like Allegedly. He ain't got no name.
Allegedly.
But
so-and-so.
He got so-and-so.
He got like
I like so-and-so.
four or five kids, family, everything. And he just, you know what I mean? Like, he really run a business. And it's crazy.
But it is a business. But that's what they don't... And it's crazy. I was mad at myself on the way here, literally getting off the highway, off the X. I was pissed because...
Do you partake?
I wanted to bring it... Absolutely. I wanted to bring in 2 books. My Black Wall Street book and the Powernomics book that I'm reading right now by Dr. Claude Anderson. And it's just... What you're saying is like with us as a people, we're not taught, even the street guys, you're not taught that it's a business. I was talking to somebody about this today. It's like, even when you go by the empties, the razor blade, the baking soda, the electric in the stash house, the person that's going to cook the stuff for you, to rent a car to go pick the work up, they're called expenses, right? But the average drug dealer doesn't factor those in when he getting money, right? He just say, yo, I'm getting money, I'm turning this over. Right. But you're not looking at it like, yo, how much of this is actually profit, how much of this is actually really overhead, right? You're just really running it because it's a cash business and everything is kind of running together, right? But if you really looked at it as a business, a lot of people be a lot more successful with it. Because we make a lot of money, but we allow them just to come take it from us. Like, we make money, and then they come take it, because there's no investment. The average black people don't invest in anything outside of just, like, material shit, so because it's not taught to you to be an owner. It's like, even in this book right now that I'm reading, Powernomics, Dr. Claude Anderson talks about it. It's the fact that we're so far behind in terms of economics and everything, like the media, the way we get our word out, like what you guys are doing right now. This is where we need to be focused at, our messaging, getting it out, because we can control our narrative, right? We own less than 1% of all media. So if somebody else is telling your story for you, how authentic can it be? True. If every time you go to speak for yourself, say, nah, hold on. Right. You're like, damn, that's not who I am, but to the world, I'm speaking, and my audience is major, right? So it's like it's affecting you on a major level, and it's like we don't think about that, right? I was even looking at a company, this guy, he had like some kind of business he was doing for the government. It was actually in this class that I'm taking. It was his, it's called his capability statement, but it was like a digital thing. But just my thought of saying it is that the company he had, I said, damn, how do you as a person go to school, how do you think about doing what he's doing? I don't know anybody that even does what he did. I mean, major contracts, I'm talking about like dredging and building, trenches and crane, all kind of stuff for the government. I'm just like, how do you even know that's a job? That's a job. Right. You understand what I'm saying to you? I'm sitting there like, damn, I don't know anybody that does that. You feel me? And I was just like, damn, he's getting paper, right? But it's like, this shit is out of sight, out of mind for us as a people. Like, we're so small, we're basketball, we're music, we're
right, that's the only way,
hustling. That's it, right? And it's a world of shit out there, right? Look at all the stuff on this table that's being produced and manufactured. Look at that shit. The blunts, the raws, the cords, this right here, this, like, it's a company that probably makes this little thing right here and sells millions of these a year. And you don't know what the hell that's called, but that you need that to make this, right? The arm to this, like somebody makes all this shit, bro. It's like, why we're not in those fields, right? We don't manufacture, we don't produce shit. So if you can't produce shit, how you gonna be in control? Right? If you don't own the money, the resources, the land, if you don't have the economics, that's all the time. It's like, nah, bro, we beef with each other. We gotta get our shit together. Like, we in the wrong mind frame, wrong mindset. It's about ownership, land, all that kind of shit. It's like, we don't, especially land, they don't make, that's the one thing they never make more of. So if you're not grabbing that.
It's crazy. You said that last episode, we had a whole discussion about, are you familiar with the Moneybag Yo and the Ari situation where his girlfriend bought him the acres? The acres.
Like 20-something acres, some shit like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, in Memphis, right?
Not sure exactly where.
Down where he from. I seen the aerial shot of everything. Yeah, I seen it. It was dope. So what's the debate about it?
The debate was, would you rather have the land or a building? Was it what?
Yeah, it was a building. It was
like a building that was worth that much, and
a building that was worth the same amount of money.
I want the land.
I don't know. I was still taking the side of the building.
Why?
One building?
Tell us why.
I'm saying
how many acres did that building sit on? I'm saying
in the scenario that we was playing with last week, it was like
it got real loose.
It got real loose. It wasn't just like one building versus that much land. But it was like, all right,
you were saying
the money that y'all would get to like, it was like, all right, just thinking development past that. Like, all right, the money that you would have to put in and develop your land and all the different stuff you would do with it, I would be able to, in theory, make adjustments to my building in the same manner. I.e., like how they added on the Cooper Hospital and shit like that. So the bigger point I was just making, it wasn't even a point, it was just like, all right, well, I could still do that.
That's
was like,
wow. There's a lot of factors that go into that shit, right? You got to think about it too, even on the building. Do you own the land?
Yeah, that was my point though. It's like, all right,
you can own the building, but you're not own the land.
And that was the same. It was like,
that's how McDonald's is with the real estate.
And what I said to him was like, the same way y'all own the land, I would own the land that this building is on. Because of like common domain and shit like that. Why would I just own the building? Somebody can come take my building, then I don't really own shit. Of course, I want the land that the building is on.
All right, so how much is 20 acres of land worth?
Bro, I don't know.
How much she paid for that shit?
Especially in the city.
If that's how much, whatever she paid for that land, that's how much your building is worth.
And she probably got that for cheap.
That's what I'm saying. Land is so much cheaper.
Wherever my building is, if it's in the city, I could run ads on the X, Y, and Z. I just felt like it would be easier for me to flip a profit earlier with my building as compared to your land.
I mean, you think about it. I mean, you could, but I'm just in my mind, I'm looking like, all right, a building on that many acres, I could build your building 20 times over.
Exactly.
On that land, right? I could actually build one of your buildings. I could build like a small community on that many acres right there. I could put a resort. I could do a farm. I could do so many things on that land in that one area. You know what I mean? Because it's about like maximizing your space.
Yeah, absolutely correct.
It depends on the
It's a lot of factors that go into it.
Because you could have the land and not, like you're saying, had the money to even build on it.
Right, exactly.
You just got land.
You just got a bunch of land, right there. And I got my building.
You kept comparing it to like the Cooper Hospital building, right?
No, I was just saying. Like, no, I wasn't comparing it to the Cooper Hospital building. I was saying I could make additions to my building in the way that they made additions on the Cooper Hospital building.
I'm saying Cooper Hospital is $1 billion building. Like that ain't.
Bro,
you're not paying $1 billion for 20 acres.
It wasn't that all the time though. They had to like add on and make
either
space.
Way, it was over $1 million from the rip.
It had
we're not paying $1
billion. The area around that had to develop too to make it like that. I'm just saying the money that y'all would have to develop your land is the same money I would have to develop my building. Our budgets would have to be the same.
Our spaces would be completely.
Yeah, y'all spaces is different, but if our budgets is the same, I don't have to spend money on building something that's already built. Was my point.
That's right.
Which is very true, but. The piggyback though, like you said, like just getting into like other different like revenue streams and stuff like that. What I found real interesting is like you owning a paper business. Mm-hmm. Like what made you get into that?
Because most black people aren't in that industry. Okay. So it's like the thought. I started the company with 6 other people in 2017, which were like my brothers and my cousins and a couple friends. But before that, before I even brought the idea to them, I had been researching it for maybe like 3 or more years, and just looking at the fact that it's a major industry, and like I said, black people are almost like non-existent in that industry, and it's something that's a need, it's not a want. Mm-hmm. Like you need bathroom tissue, you need paper, and it's like I want to be in things that not like that are trends. It's almost like to me, I try to base business off of, when I looked at even trying to be an entrepreneur, off Maslow's hierarchy of needs. It's food, clothing, and shelter.
So like a need base off the rip. Yeah. Like so that was your first, like when you was getting into business, you was like, I needed like a need base just to give me like my feet.
Our first business was a food business. It was a food cart. You need food, clothing, and shelter. Mm-hmm. I'll tell y'all, when we sat down, if you invest in things that people need all the time, it's almost impossible that you can, even if your marketing and shit is messed up at first, you could redirect your energy or your focus or the brand to adapt to what you need to in that industry. But people are going to always need food. They're going to always need clothing. They're going to always need shelter. So even if I'm like, fuck it, right now, people are not rocking sweatsuits. I can not sell sweatsuits. Right. You know what I'm saying? I can sell what people wear, but I have a clothing store, so now it's even like I said, me looking at it, it's like visionary. I sell sweatsuits and different things for women, but why try to reinvent the wheel is how my mind works. I'm gonna work hard as hell right now with everything I'm trying to do, trying to figure out how to build a whole line for women. Why not just go find women that's doing it?
Right.
I'll take a smaller percentage, but it's still solving my problem, and it's still increasing revenue. So you have to think solution based, right? So it's like why I'm gonna work harder than not work smarter? Somebody's already doing it, right? That's what big companies do. That's what all the big companies, they absorb little companies. So you got to think about vitamin water, right? When 50 went and invested in that little company out in Queens, and that shit was nothing, right? Pepsi seen it, or Coca-Cola, whoever bought the shit, they seen it and said, all right, we're going to give y'all $4 billion for it. Because that company had a market base. They took up a certain market share, right? They built a brand, had a following, and they absorbed it. Same thing with music. When you go out there independently, especially back in the day, and you built your brand up, the big labels came and did what? Bought your brand.
Yeah, bought your record label.
Because they're not going to work harder, they're going to work smarter. Fuck it, let's go. We have the resources, the money. That's why not bring them into the fold. Mm-hmm. And we're going to still eat off of it. We might get whatever percentage. This person might be smart, he might be dumb. That's how they play. And that's just being honest with you. He might be exactly. He might sit at the table and know exactly what he wants. But Rashaan might come in and don't know shit. And now they own all my shit. And I don't even know, but I'm just, I'm a part of the big corporation. Yeah, you feel me? So that's that's how business works. Period. When you're in America, if you don't understand capitalism, you're gonna get swallowed up.
Capitalist country.
Period. That's what my professor taught me in school. He said you have to move in the type of society that you live in. It's like how you try to be a socialist in a capitalist society. That makes no sense. Mm-hmm. Everybody doesn't eat the same in America. Mm-hmm. That's foolish to even think that. You set yourself up for if I grind. Absolutely. I believe in that. I don't believe that a person that sits on their ass all day should shame the person that runs laps around you and makes a fortune for themselves. How's that? How is he wrong?
You can't be mad at him.
Yeah, I don't owe you nothing.
But some people believe like, oh, he has too much. He should share. I agree. You should have a conscience and have a heart. But at the end of the day,
all them billions.
At the end of the day, especially if I started from zero, how do you shame me?
You earned your billions.
Absolutely.
Earned your billions.
No, I'm not saying that, but I'm saying
if
I have the ability to give back in a substantial way, and I'm still gonna be super good, I'm gonna give back.
I'm not even asking you to do that, bro. I just want everybody to pay their taxes. That's it. I feel like
it's not even about paying their taxes; it's the percentage of taxes they have to pay.
Wealthy people really don't pay taxes.
Exactly. I feel like that's it. Ain't nobody paying cash for it except for the middle class.
It's crazy. I just watched the video today on YouTube.
Except for the people who pay taxes, not by choice. You know what I'm saying?
The middle class, I tell people all the time, they balance the seesaw.
Right.
You got to figure you have the poor and the wealthy. Somebody has to tip the scale.
Right.
It's the middle class. It's all the people that move into the $100,000, $200,000 homes, have the $80,000, $90,000 cars. All that stuff is on payments. Mm-hmm. Kids in college, the jobs, credit cards. You kind of almost living paycheck to paycheck.
Yeah, everything is a debt.
There's no real wealth. If the job was swept from under you today or tomorrow, how long could you live? That's your accumulation of wealth. How long could you live? You understand what I'm saying? That's wealth.
That's a fact.
No, that's real. That's how you value your wealth.
Right.
Period. If the day of tomorrow, would you stop doing, how long could you live off of it? What you currently have right now.
That's a good question.
Shit, man, I took the leap. Feel me? Mm-hmm. Living right now. We'll see.
And then for me, even like I always try to like me and my lady, we talk about this and different people. Like for me, every entrepreneurship is not for everybody, and that's never my message. But I feel that every person should have something of their own, even if you work for somebody, like real estate, stocks, investments, bonds, IRA, something, mutual, like something. Not just every day I could be an alcoholic and I'm your boss, and I can mess the bag up all the time. You don't know that. You just hope that every 2 weeks I have your check.
Facts.
I could be a gambler. I could be going through a divorce. You don't know.
You lose it all.
And you betting everything on me.
On Friday, right?
All your kids, your daughter tuition due, your baby need milk, and I'm your savior? Shit, me, I never do. I did that before. I was fired for doing what I was supposed to do at a job. How do you get fired from doing what you're supposed to do? Where they tell you, if you do this, you're going to get fired. You don't do it, and you still get fired. That's insane. And they didn't care about me. That was literally weeks before Christmas. Just came back from a trip. Just bought a car. They didn't give a shit about me, my family, none of that.
Get him out of here.
Get him out of here.
So you gotta go get it now.
Yeah, I never let somebody put my life in somebody's hands like that ever again. That's insanity. I wish I would.
That's why I'm doing everything in my power now to cease that from my existence.
Because I look at it like this. Just think about what you make on an hourly wage.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's hard, I guess, maybe starting off. But you got to think about it. That's with most people why they don't quit their jobs and they don't really pursue their goals. Because a lot of people have things they wanted to do when they were younger or their visions and dreams, but they give up on it because life says you have PSE&G, you have Comcast that you don't really need, you have this car note, you have the mortgage, you have the taxes, and the bills say, I come every 30 days, I don't stop, because the bill don't stop. PSE&G, all them, they never stop. That shit forever. They forever, right?
If you don't pay it,
you feel me? They forever, right?
Yo, that cat funny shit.
So, so for me, it's like all you have to do really is, I ain't gonna say all you have to do, that's kind of, but like it's really just a matter of covering your overhead every month. That's all you go to work for, is to cover your overhead.
So how long until you said you started your first business, the paper company, in 2017, right?
Mm-hmm. My first business wasn't that.
Okay, it was you said the food cart, right?
My vending company. Yeah, that was in 2005.
Okay. So how long until your first business started did you really like to start turning a profit, or was it immediately? My
first business was the vending cart. I made profit immediately because the profit margin is so huge in the vending business. So like when I did the vending, you gotta figure, if I went to Jetro right now when I had my cart, I was paying about $9 for a 40-pack of Dietz and Watson hot dogs. I sold hot dogs for $1.25 to $1.50 a hot dog. The quarter represented the bun, and $1 was the hot dog. So I know of every 40-pack I made $31.
And it was $9.
And only paid $9.
Right.
That profit margin is stupid.
Okay. So that's what you're saying, like when you're saying get into like a need base.
That's literally you're talking about almost like an 80% return.
All right, so what about a business more like the paper company, where it's more like you kind of got a wholesaler, right? I'm assuming that's what you're doing with the paper pop. Yeah.
Both. See, the paper company is, for me, a little different because it's harder, because it's like products, because you're competing with like bigger brands, Scott's, household names, shit that people are used to. So outside of selling, you're doing, like, you're educating the consumer at the same time. Who you are, what your product is, getting them to trust you, be familiar with your product, because people don't know the product. So for me, with that, my approach with that, when I first did it, I have a network. So when I first started, I had people that supported me just off the muscle, like, because they love me, they fuck with me. Mm-hmm. So I sold cases like that. But doing it like that, I'm like, I can't drive around every day and just sell cases of bathroom tissue all day long, So I'm just like, how can I sell bulks of this shit? So I looked at the way to do that. So I'm like, it's through contracts. So my mind shifted to trying to deal with institutions and corporations, right? So it's like, all right, how do I use my resources and connections to try to get into institutions where I know they buy a multitude of the shit that I sell, and I can sell it to them on a revolving system. So that's where my mindset and the company's mission is at right now. So I still have like my reoccurring customers. Like last night, I believe it was probably last night, I dropped my boy LeVar Edwards, shot at the Clock Chasers. His mom and him as well, they're like consistent customers. So he called me. I said, yo, mom need an order. So I'm like, well, she want a regular order? He like, nah, she want to double it. So she purchased, I think she bought half a case of bathroom tissue, a quarter case of paper towels. And when I delivered this, she was like, Rashaan, they talking about it's going to be a shortage. I had to make sure I stocked up this and that. But that's my residential side, but that's not my vision to have to deliver bathroom tissue to my man's mom all the time. My mission is to build my residential base, have a warehouse in Camden, have drivers, so customers like that, I can employ somebody in a van, they can go deliver that shit. Mm-hmm. You feel me? Have it pick it up. So that's the mission for the company. That's the vision. That's the growth of it. And I feel like just being in it right now, learning the business, on the go, everything, I feel like I'm on the verge, because even right now I'm doing something with procurement. I have class on Thursday. So it's an initiative I started with my organization, the Hatton Avenue Business Association, where we're working with the big corporations that I'm talking about and the procurement officers, because they're the ones that buy the security goods and services. So working with them to actually buy directly from Camden-based businesses. Because if people don't know, by law, government institutions and government funded institutions by law are supposed to have a set aside where they're supposed to buy directly from minority owned businesses. So that right now is an initiative that is going on in the city of Camden, where you have just a company like American Water. We talked to them. They spend $675 million a year on procurement. So that's every 12 months they spend that just securing goods and services. And Camden said that they should have a 30% set aside. So 30% of that $675 million should go to small minority-owned businesses in the city of Camden.
You trying to get tapped in.
So that's my plan. I don't want to go after the selling one roll by roll to answer your question. My goal is to how can I have a tractor trailer pull up to Cooper Hospital? Because how much paper bathroom tissue does Cooper Hospital use?
I was running it up.
You understand what I'm saying, G? And the thing about it is I'm the only person in my city that does that. You know what I mean? Right. So my thing is, if it takes me a year or 2 years, if it takes me 5 years to get a contract, 10 years to get a contract like that, I'm putting in the time for it. Right. Because it's worth it, right. And it's not just Cooper. I'm going after. We have 3 hospitals in Camden, and I'm the only one in my space.
Right. So you're competing against yourself.
Period.
Essentially.
You know. So my vision and the way I think people don't. My vision might take longer, but it's gonna be my shit gonna be the bigger bang. See, I don't think short money. I just read Rick Ross' book. He like, if you talking short money, I don't even want to talk to you. It's about long game. See, people think short game. That's what we do as black people. The word they call us niggas. We think short game. Right. I don't think short. I've never thought short game. My game is always long game. Period. So when you look back at it and when the shit really pop and those contracts come in and you say, damn, how the fuck Rashaan Hornsby can afford a Phantom truck? Because you don't understand that I waited to go get them type of contracts, and now my paper company just by itself is doing $3, $4, $5 million a year, and I'm not really doing shit now. I just talk to a manager and I make sure things are going to need to be going, because I'm not with the work and shit every day. That's not even my style. You have to buy man hours is what you're supposed to do, because I don't know what my last day gonna be, so I don't want to spend every waking day. And I've done it. My thing is too, I'm not saying it from a negative stand. I've done this shit I'm talking about. So when I send you to Baltimore, I've taken that run, me and my lady. I know what it's like to load them boxes in that truck by myself. I know how long it's going to take you. I know if you told me you went to get something to eat, I know where to eat spot, the places to eat at, because we will go eat when we go down there, right? So I know this shit. I've done it. I've cleaned toilets. I worked for other people my entire life. So I'm not talking from a standpoint like I'm not a worker. I bust my ass. I had my first job at 11 years old. Period. I said, Dad, I want a job. He sent me down to the spot. I said, yo, you think Mr. Tyer hired me? Shout out to Ty Miles. And I said, yo, you think? He said, I don't know. Go down there and ask him. He didn't stop in front of the store. He drove to my house. I had to walk down there. I'm nervous as hell because Mr. Ty, that guy in the neighborhood, big guy, in stature. And I'm like, but I wanted to work. I wanted my own money. At 11, I knew that. I just graduated 5th grade. I worked my 5th grade summer. Right? So that's been and I've worked ever since. I'm 40 years old. You feel me? So it's like I've put in the times when a person see, it's not like it's overnight success. You got to work for that shit. That shit, you know what I mean? It's like, I look at people that say, like, billionaires. It's like, some people ain't get their start till they were 40s. Like, look at Morgan Freeman. I think he said he didn't get his leading role till he was, like, in his 40s, 50s. Like, Gary 50 years old. Like, check that out. Like, real shit, he didn't get his first leading role till I think he was, like, in his 40s.
I don't even know what young Morgan Freeman looked like.
You feel me? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, but, you know what I mean? So, you know what I mean? But you look at it from that standpoint, like, yo, it's like, for me, it's the long game for me. You know, it's long game. It's my goal too is how many generations can I make good just off of my work. So that's like my son. I have a grandson now. So it's like, can my kids, my grandkids, my great grandkids, can they still eat off my pot just off what I do? So then if you leave it to your kids, you like, yo, they gotta make that shit pop. Period. That's what it's about. That's how come other cultures have such an up on us as blacks. Because their pot been getting handed down for hundreds of years. How you going to compete with that? For 200 years, that pot been getting stacked up. And it just keep getting handed down the line. Boom, 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 boom. And you go to college now, it's like this is the kid that you're in school with, that you're competing with. They've had the top nutritionists, programs, the best air, the best food, the best books, the best all this shit.
Best air.
That shit matters.
That shit matters.
Yes, seriously.
It's crazy.
You don't got
You understand? I'm just
Also,
being.
how Shane gonna be 6'4", because he not gonna grow up in the hood with this type of air quality. He ain't gonna grow up next to Hotech. You feel me?
I don't know, bro. 6 and Ferry ain't far, bro.
No, listen,
The air travel.
bro. My son gonna be in the sticks, bro. He ain't gonna have a neighbor.
She's gonna be breathing the freshness of
You
the
feel
airs,
me?
bro.
The purest of oxygen. Okay.
The
I
purest
mean,
oxygen.
it matters, man.
Mm-hmm.
That's a
It
fact.
matters.
And then he gonna be 6'4".
It definitely matters. But we think money doesn't matter, but it matters because it's a tool.
Mm-hmm.
It gets you the things that you need. And it's like people that say that money doesn't matter, you need to get away from them. Because they're crazy.
That's not living in that capitalist society we was talking about earlier. You need money to buy shit.
You can't show me a person filled with love that can walk into PSNG and get their lights turned back on because they filled with love and happiness. Show me a person. Show me a person right now can walk into FC Curback right now on 73 in Palmyra and pull a brand new Rolls Royce off there because he just filled with love.
That's fairy tale land.
It's not gonna happen.
But let me ask you. So you cause you from the hood just like us, same hood, and like
What part of Camden exactly?
Parkside.
Parkside.
Parkside, I gotta give him some Parkside.
niggas got the hood up, of course.
Always, most definitely.
But I'm saying, so like we kind of look to you right now as like that mentor, like a little bit of that education. Like how did your education start in like this whole, not even just like business, but just different lanes of money, like stocks and everything you got into so far, everything you getting into, everything you're gonna be getting into. Where do you look for your education?
it was a growth process, step by step. I mean, I think probably like my earliest experiences from it was like seeing my grandmother pay bills. I used to watch my grandmother sit down, literally write checks, pay bills, help other people out. I mean, on my block where I lived at, two of the biggest dope boys in the game lived right next door to me. So I seen as a kid people that had as many cars as like how you equate to like how Baby and them when Cash Money first came out. I've seen as a kid, I knew two guys that hustled that had 3 and 4 Jaguars, 3 and 4 Corvettes, 4 and 5 BMWs, 4 and 5 F-150s, 4 and 5 Benzes. Like this is all literally in front of my house. And shout out to Mr. Skip. Anybody that knows this is authentic, that might be listening to this and hear this. Shout out to Mr. Skip on Princess Avenue, 1300 block. To keep it a bean. So Mr. Skip would clean every car. My block was spotless because these two guys owned literally half of the block. And I would literally watch every big dope boy come around there in the city because they were the biggest. And they only sold weed. They didn't even sell coke or nothing. They were the biggest weed dealers probably in the city. They owned so many properties that it was stupid. And they still right now are out. They didn't go to jail. They still own legitimate businesses, done, retired with the game, everything authentic. But this is what I saw as a kid. Their kids, like as a kid, we grew up, they had the arcade games in the house, in the basement. Like we played Miss Pac-Man all day. We just hit the button because they owned them. Like they had an arcade in the basement in a house, in a row home on Princess Avenue.
Get to it. The arcade.
Seriously, like real talk. You know what I'm saying? Like
everybody else is
like real talk. Like
so.
So I seen a lot of things growing up. So I saw education was big in my house. So I wasn't allowed to get C's. C's I would get an ass whooping in my house. That like mom wasn't good with that. Oh damn, I got some kids like, oh damn, I got C's. That was an ass whooping. One C was an ass whooping.
I don't think I got my first C till high school.
I didn't get a C.
It wasn't allowed. Like,
Oh, you remember your first C? 11th grade?
First C. Yeah, fucking lost it. What is this?
What is?
How you get a C?
Yeah.
Yo, it's a C. Like,
Yeah.
nah.
Yeah. So that was high. It was like education was at the top. in my house. So you couldn't be no dumb person in my house. You feel me? So, and then on the football field, I learned a lot from the men that coached me. So I feel like then in the streets, you have the guys in the community that you see and you learn and so, it is what it is. There was one guy I was talking to tonight in front of my store, old head OG, and I remember him. That's the first when I fell in love with Range Rovers because he had one. That's my
favorite car.
That's one of my favorite cars too. And I fell in love because he had one. He had a Hunter Green one, and I remember it to this day. He had one of the best houses in the hood because in his house he had gutted it out, and he had a chandelier from the top of the ceiling on the third floor of the house all the way down to the basement.
That's tough.
Inside the hood, he had the jacuzzi on the back of the house. This is in the hood, bro.
Right,
and he outside, and I'm walking home from school. It's almost like on some paid in full type shit, right? Mm-hmm. When you see Mitch and you see the money falling, right? And it's just like that. And I'm watching him just getting his shit licked up, and he on the phone in front of the house. And I'm like, when I get older, I'm gonna get me one of those. Like, you know what I'm saying? I was like, and that's why I fell in love with Rangers. And like when I get my first 4.6, I'm gonna blow a nice one in there. Probably gonna play some Hove and probably blow a nice one in there. Or Big, probably Big, cause that's my favorite rapper. That's my favorite. Big then Hove, if not a tie.
So you would say basically it sounded like you had like a great structure to be
all the way around the board. Cause I'm a sponge. I watch people, I learn from people, and my brother said that to me the other day. We were somewhere, and this dude, where was I? I remember if I was at Home Depot, and I was getting some keys made, and my brother Chad was with me, and this guy was living at Home Depot. He had all these keys on the counter getting made. I'm like, I'm in like a ridiculous amount of keys. I'm like, this white boy gotta be somebody.
He definitely
like a stupid amount of keys. I said, bro, like you in a real estate or something? He was like, yeah, I run the whole housing thing around the corner on Route 70. So I locked in with him right there. But that's just me. You know what I mean? I feel like a closed mouth doesn't get fed. I didn't look at him like on some man, this white boy. I was like, damn, this motherfucker gotta be getting money. That's a lot of keys getting made right now. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's getting a lot of keys made for a reason. He has to be doing something with properties. And sure enough, he was. And it's like, so for me, yeah, that's how I feel like I move. Like one of my good friends right now, he owns like almost 200 properties, him and his two partners. They amassed that in less than 5 years.
That's how I'm trying to move. 5 years?
Yeah.
That's easy, bro.
I think so too.
Yeah, they have probably like they like over 200.
We got that easy.
That's a lot of property.
That's a lot of property.
That's a major portfolio. They trying to get to 500. He told me that's their goal.
Yeah, we definitely got tapped in.
That's a lot of properties, bro.
Shout out to them.
Even if you just charge $1,000 a property, that means you're getting clearly that's clearing 200 some change a month. Every 30 days.
That's clockwork.
They doing at least 250 to 300,000. I'm sure at least a month in real estate.
So it's out there.
Most definitely.
You feel, and that's little to some other people though. Think about it. Some people like, now I own 700 properties, 5. Seriously,
that market crazy. That's pretty much like the market we looking to really tap into the most too.
It's a great market.
You in the real estate besides like your own like houses that you live in and things like that?
Yeah, I own a property. Yeah. I own a rental property. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You been thinking about getting another one or tapping into that market?
That's literally I want to be one of my main bread and butters in my portfolio. It's real estate. That's always since I was a kid. I've loved real estate. Always wanted to remodel how, because like I said, the dope boys I grew up around, they had properties, so I knew that's what you got. Like they, back in the day, they wore the Lee jeans tight with the big wallet with the knot, and they would have the clip on their hook with all the keys to their property on the side every day. And I'm like, damn, look at all those properties they own. Forget the cars, just the houses. So I've always been into like houses. Like I like rehabbing houses. I watch shows like that, rehabbing, and I like that type because real estate is dope. It's almost like a sure win as an investment, pretty much. Like I said, people always need somewhere to stay. Even if you have to sell it, you know what I mean. So it's like you can always make money off of real estate, you know. So especially if you buy something in an impoverished neighborhood and it gets gentrified and.
So why haven't you really tapped into that, like really explored that fully yet?
I mean, I am like literally learning the game. I guess probably, like for me, I guess being young, I think my main thing was being in the streets. I didn't really have somebody to guide me on how to do it. I had to really learn everything that I'm doing right now myself. Mm-hmm. So like going through the process, knowing how to do it, having money, not knowing if you're gonna get locked up if you make a purchase and how to do it, and I didn't know shit about that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like when you're literally out there and you're making money hand over, I didn't know shit. I wanted to do it, but my dad was gone. My mom didn't. My mom don't own no property. She ain't know nothing. You know what I'm saying? So and my mom is a dope mom, but my parents didn't teach me about owning properties. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, that wasn't taught. So I knew that's what I wanted to do, but I didn't know how you go about doing it. So I had to find out. I mean, it was times, man. Shit, man, I remember, and people just, I guess people wonder how you do it. Bro, that shit to me is not a formula. I'm just keeping it being. The way this shit is, my story is unorthodox, bro. Like, I get my shit by any means necessary, bro. I've done shit like prepaid legal, credit one. I've done all kind of shit, bro, to try to just be in business, bro. I remember going to seminars on fucking Saturdays. That shit wasn't bringing home no money, just to go be around people that had money, and I'll come home motivated and energized, right? And you in this pyramid fucking scheme and people at the top and they feeding you this shit, but I'm motivated as a motherfucker. But I had to do that shit, bro. I had to do that to get right now to where I'm at right now. And I had to look up shit. I don't know if I used to look at it in the newspaper or what, but I used to go to Flaster and Greenberg. It's out in Cherry Hill. It's a law firm out there. And they used to put in the paper that they would have business seminars. It would be on different topics, marketing, tax law, all that kind of shit. They would have a free lunch, all that. And I would go. My car, I might have fucking $10, $20 to my name. I had to put gas in my car. And I'm gonna need some fucking weed later on. But I drive out here, this ain't bringing me no money. It's just me driving out here to go hear some information. Mm-hmm. But something in me used to tell me, like, just go. And I would go, I would network with people, I would meet people, and I feel like that's how I've always succeeded, because I network and I meet people and I talk and I go for what I want. I don't get down. I feel like that's what people gotta understand. Money and having, like, I always made money. That's not what I'm here talking money. That's not what I'm trying to say right now. Like, getting money is easy. It's about how do you maintain it, how do you grow it, how do you scale it, how do you grow a business from the fucking ground up. Period. Without somebody handing you a blueprint and a fucking machine already built and saying, here, these are instructions, just keep it running. Mm-hmm. I'm building this shit from the ground up. Every company I have, nobody gave to me. I built that shit from the ground up. When I started music and did what I did with my son, to the point where we started with a vision. I started with a vision one night in a fucking room doing music because my little brother called me. And that's the type of things that I believe in. I don't know if nobody else believes in, but I believe in God. So I believe that my path has always been that way. So me being out in the street, shout out to my man, Uncle Pootie, rest in peace. Uncle Pootie was somebody I used to serve when I was in the street. But I always treated Uncle Pootie like he was supposed to be treated, like he was a OG. He knew me as a kid before I was young. He knew my family, right? But I used to serve Uncle Pootie. I used to do, Uncle Pootie was the guy. So Uncle Pootie, me and him, being out in the street, we would talk and shit. I would be out in the street, me and him be busting it up, and I would talk to him about the things I'm doing right now that I wanted to do. So he knew the type of person that I was outside of what I was currently doing, right? So my boy Kev, my man was talking to him one day. My boy lived out the way, and he was doing like a computer program. He worked for this development company, and he wanted to do like some computer class and shit. So my man Uncle Pootie told Kev, like, yo, Sean real smart. He know about computers and shit. He probably could teach the class. Y'all need to meet. So he introduced us. So me and my man Kev, we busting it up and shit, and we talking about the computer class. So he said, yeah, bro, I need you to teach the class, blah, blah, blah. So he invited me to his house. So we met a couple of times. So probably about the third or fourth time I'm at his crib, he was like, bro, you into music and shit? And I was like, yeah. So I ain't had no entertainment company or nothing at the time, right? But I used to manage my man High Millions and shit from Camden. Shout out to High Millions. So always was into music. Always wanted to do my own thing. So he was like, you into music? I said, yeah. He's like, yo, you want to listen to some beats and shit? I make beats. So I was like, yeah, hell yeah. So we went up, he had a little studio in his crib. So we went upstairs, we started listening to some music. And I was like, damn, he got some shit, whatever. But, you know, it was just like, you know, he had good music. So, like, literally probably the next day, my little brother, shout out to Che Luciano. Che Luciano calls me. This is my little brother. I'm 10 years older than my little brother. So, well, 9, really. So, he calls me like, bro, you know somebody got a studio? And I'm like, so this is my baby brother. I'm like, you rap? Never heard this dude rap in my life. This is my little brother, right? And I'm in the streets and shit. So, you feel me? My little brother younger than me. So, I'm really looking at him like,
little bro. Like,
I'm like, you rap, bro? He like, yeah, but I ain't trying to play him out of nothing, but it just shocked the shit out of me. You feel me? Like, so I'm like, all right. So he like,
that's how you was when your brother was like, I sing?
Nah, this was a singing around the house ass nigga. So
okay.
Yeah. So I never heard my brother. My little brother was chunky as a young boy, into karate, snacks. Yeah. You feel me? I would never expect this shit come from my little brother Luciano. Word up, shout out to Lucci. So he comes to me and shit. So he like, yo, I rap. He like, me and Mike. And I said, Mike rap too? This is my little cousin. So I'm like, Mike rap? So I'm like, hold on. So he like, yeah, me, Mike, and other Mike. I said, credentials? I said, all three of y'all rap? He like, yeah, we like a group. So I said, a group? I said, oh, this shit blows. So I said, hold on. I said, matter of fact, this dude I just started dealing with got a little studio at the crib. Let me call him up, see if y'all can come through. Because I need to hear this shit. So I called my man up. He like, yeah, bro, bring him through tomorrow. After I get off work, come through. So we go through. My little brother, I don't know what I'm walking into. I don't, you know what I'm saying? I don't know what he gonna say that. So I don't know if my man gonna tell me, bro, what the fuck? You know what I mean? Like, I have no idea, right? So, but we walk in, and, you know, I don't even think they had rap names. Because I gave them their names that night. So they in there rapping. And I'm like, what the fuck? This nigga actually can rap.
How old were they? How old were y'all at the time? You said you like 10 years older. So.
That was in 2008. So that was 13 years ago. So I'm 40 now, so shit, I was 27.
I'm happy, man. Yeah.
So he was I'm 9 years older, so he was what, 18? You know what I mean? About 17, 18 at the time. So I didn't know my little brother was doing this, so he started going in, boom, boom, boom. So I'm like, yo, these motherfuckers. And I feel like being tapped in. God, Allah said, yo, so I named, his first name was, what the fuck was Dre's first name that I named it? It was Dre Dollars. My little cousin was Maybach Mike and Mike Credentials. I called them 3 the hard way. And I said, I'm going to start a record company. That shit going to be called Visionary Entertainment. And that's how I birthed what you see on my chest right now, 13 years later.
That's super tough.
That's
from that day, I never did. And in the room that we recorded in was blue. That's why my studio is called Blue Room Studios. That's the first room where I started the company at. From that night, I said, I'm gonna call it Vision Entertainment. It wasn't no business, nothing. And from that day, I started doing music, got logos, and then from there, I just started like recruiting people. So that's how I started meeting people like Young Matic and all the artists that I started dealing with. Cause I started just doing like open casting calls, like just in the hood, like, yo, I'm looking for artists, sign them up. And I used to just have people in there battling and like the hottest niggas. I was like, yo, I'm gonna sign y'all. But that's how I birthed that company. That's how that started. And to be honest with you, that was that's one of my most successful ventures to me, was doing that.
Was it like more fulfilling or just like?
Because I love music and it's a passion of mine, and for me, I feel like for me to be independent, I feel like I did it at a major level, and it was dope. Every moment of it, like the grind, the start point of it, to even when we started really like having success. Like, I mean, to the point where, I don't know, when I started Visionary that night and all that, like my son didn't even rap anything. My son rapped because literally after that night, I was in go mode with my little brother and them, and my son was always with me. So he came to the studio with me. He's like, Dad, can I go to the studio with you, Uncle Dre? I was like, all right, yeah, come on. So he went, and they were actually doing a remix to the Cream song, Wu-Tang joint. And I was like, damn, I wonder how Papa would sound on the hook. French vanilla butter, if you get off in your gut. So I was like, Papa, you want to sing the hook on this? He was like, yeah. And from there, I guess he caught the bug. Because probably maybe a few days later, no more than a week later, he came to me. I was at the crib. And he was like, Dad, I want to do music. And I was like, you want to do music? Like my little brother, shocked. I'm like, my son, you want to rap? I've never heard you rap. So I'm like, he like, I had a song too, Dad. And I was like, you got a song?
He was in the lab.
So he was like, yeah, Uncle Dre helped me with it. He's like, and I know it too. I was like, all right, well, let me hear it. Let me hear it.
How old was this? Was same time, 2008, right?
He was 9. So he spit it to me, and from there, Young Papa was born. Period. And from that day, I watched my son every day run circles around everybody twice his age and older. Period. Like, I feel like what we did in music in Camden and my time with that, it's been unmatched.
You remember Little Bro rapping?
Dude, we came to Cooper's Point. You was there, right?
Yeah, he was there before y'all was older before me.
I remember that. We had assemblies and shit.
I mean, that was, yeah, it was, he was, I mean, it was different for me because I'm his dad. So when you look at your own son like that, I didn't look at my son as like that. Like, I mean, man, come on, bro. I've never done that. I've never had, I don't think him, you know, as far as I know, I've never had women like that, at least at that magnitude that he did. I mean, I'm not even saying like the love, because he didn't like girls. I'm talking about like how he had them. And I mean, I don't like girls, like not like he, you know, well, he didn't like girls, but he, you know, that was the least of his concerns at that time he was doing music. Yeah, actually kind of irritating because it was to the point where girls used to smell his hair because he had that long hair. I'm talking after the shows, they would bum rush him. I've never had a girl run up to me and just cry or like shake, scream.
That's wild.
Like, I mean, like real, like for real. Like,
how did that make you feel?
Nah, bro.
It would blow my mind, bro. This is my child. I birthed this little boy. So I'm looking at this like, and he had and I'm not trying to downplay.
Like, he was that.
You know what I mean?
He was a cool guy.
Bro, I thought he was regular. I'm like, all right, bro. After he stopped performing, yo, girls just started running. I'm like,
you seen it?
Yo,
was it like the skating ring or something?
No, bro. This is at Cooper's Point.
Oh, at Cooper's Point.
In front of the little like auditorium joint, like the
at
joint
Cooper's, at the middle
bro.
school.
This is at an institution.
Bro,
Yeah,
at the school, bro.
Yeah.
It's hot as hell in it. Bro, it's hot as hell, bro. We sitting there. I'm happy to be out of class, bro. He up there rapping. I'm all right, cool, whatever. Bro, he stopped.
Right, because we was
said,
like
all right,
7th
peace.
grade.
And girls was just like, ah! I was like, oh, shit.
I must have been there that day.
Bro.
It was stupid.
I don't know, bro.
He was the guy.
I was like young, though.
That's
like,
G.O.A.T.
I was young. I had to be in like maybe like.
Bro, that's like literally. I tell my son now, bro. Like, that's not even just the fact he's my son. I'm talking about like just real factual shit. If you want to talk facts and hard, nobody did what my son did in music from Camden. You can't. I don't think there's nobody you could put up his resume in terms of show performances, venues, all that up against him in that time period. I know nobody from Camden never even did Powerhouse. He did that at 13 years old. 22,000 people, Wells Fargo.
He was even in
Main
the
stage,
video.
right before Big Sean.
Remember that, John?
That's fact. That's up. You can't never take that down. That's hear ye. That's for life.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? We was at the video shoot with Tip. You know what I mean? So the things he's done, you know what I mean? Like one of the best concerts, y'all talking about concerts, the best concerts I've been to is to Watch the Throne. And it's crazy because literally, this facts. Everybody know this. My son, everybody's listening, know the gang. We was doing everything. It's facts. Shout out to Charlie Mack, everybody. I remember we got the call. My favorite, like I said, the tie. Got the call. I'm sitting at the house. We living in the projects at the time. 2-bedroom apartment in the projects. John Wesley, North Camden. We doing this out of a 2-bedroom apartment. So this is how I'm trying to tell you. Like, I mean, it was on steroids. So I'm at the house. And I get the call like, yo, Hov want to meet Papa. I said, Hov, who? What you mean Hov? Jay-Z. He want to meet Papa. He said, we got tickets for y'all at the show. Meet me at the gate at the Wells Fargo. So we go, get to the gate, we go in, watch the whole show. After it's done, shot Mike Kaiser. Anybody know who Mike Kaiser is in the business? Mike Kaiser, we waiting with him. He's like, all right, this will go. So we go in the back. Jay come out. So he look Papa up and down. He like, damn, you're not even fazed by me, huh, little nigga? So Papa's like, nah. He was like, what's up? So he's like, come on, y'all. So we went in the back. That's when Beyonce was pregnant with Blue Ivy. So Beyonce back there sitting on the floor. So we kicked it with him for like maybe 2-3 hours after the show. We met Kanye. And then, like, the fact of this is no cap, this is facts. He called to meet my son. This is no bullshit. I didn't ask to meet Hov. I was home. But the fact that Jeff Gordon, everybody know who that is, which is the guy that owned Live Nation, that Jay do the shows with, he was the guy that's putting on the Scream tours with Mindless Behavior on them at the time. And my son was shutting down every show that they had. And they was wondering how the young kid that didn't even have a deal had the kids going, because when my son first did the Tower Theater, he opened up for them. Mindless Behavior, Diggy Simmons, the OMG Girls, which is T.I. and them daughter, Jacob Lattimore, which is the young boy off of The Shy that sing, and my son opened up for them. My son shut the show down so bad, literally, Mindless Behavior was going to hit the stage. All the girls chased Papa upstairs, had him locked in the bathroom. The bull had to call security to get him out the joint. At that time, it was so many people there from the industry, word got back, and they like, yo, young Papa is bigger than the niggas that got a deal. He was bigger than every show he went to that he did with Mindless and all them. He stole the show.
Shut it down.
It's a rap. And we were independent. They got major shit pushing behind it. They didn't understand how this was going on. And this is facts. That's why you seen like a lot of the shit that we were doing, it was like people wasn't doing that. Like he performed on the USS Intrepid at the Men in Black 3 movie premiere after party. We went to see the Men in Black 3 movie premiere in New York with Will Smith and his whole family. On that night, Pitbull performed, One Direction, Will Smith, Jaden Smith, and Young Papa. DJ Jazzy Jeff was the DJ.
That's tough.
This our resume.
Super tough.
That's no cap. This facts. This is on YouTube right now. You can go right now. This is no cap shit. This is facts. So, and like I said, I don't even really talk about this. That's trophy room. Like we did that, but if you really need me to whip out my resume, most people, my past shit you can't catch up to, and that's keeping it a bean. Especially if we talking about music from my area. That's real. That's keeping it a bean. Like we was shutting shit down everywhere we went. Everything. It was like every Electric Factory, Tower Theaters, everything. It was a rap. Like it was big. It was big.
All right, so I want to ask you then. So what would you say is like the for all niggas kind of like just getting into just like the economy basically? What would you say is like the top 3 markets to like tap in if you had to narrow it down to like, I don't know if you want to say your favorite or just most lucrative, however you want to like put it in a criteria, your top 3. And it can be something specific like your paper company. It don't gotta be just real estate or anything. But something you think that we niggas could really get into.
I mean, like definitely like the app game. I think the app game is big. You gotta look at the 2 twin brothers from Philly that came up with Black and Mobile. Their first year, and in COVID they did 500,000. This year they say they projected to do well over a M. 2 years out they did 1.5 million. And they just delivered they only deliver black food made by black-owned businesses. And now I've seen they expanded to New York and in different areas. So now it's a matter of do they stay independent or are one of the big companies going to come grab them for a big check?
Right.
So I would say the app game, yeah. So what you're touching right now, marijuana,
okay,
major industry. It's on fire. So I would definitely say the cannabis industry gonna be number 2 for me. And I mean, just to keep it, to keep a balanced portfolio, I would say throw some real estate in there. And but everybody can't create an app, so but I'm just saying that's a major lane that even if you can invest. You took the words out of my mouth. Like if you can invest, find somebody that can be a because that's a big field. That's a technology, period. It's just a major, in medical, you can never go wrong. People get sick. People need to get healed. So, industries like that, like I said, food, clothing, shelter, basic needs, communications, like podcasts, all this stuff. I'm looking at Wallow and Gilly and all, like what they doing with their podcast. That shit is on fire. You know, Earn Your Leash. I don't know if y'all follow those guys.
That's one of my go-tos.
Yeah, they're them guys. I bang with them. You know what I mean? So it's that podcast game is vicious. Y'all on to it. Y'all doing it. Real estate podcast. you just reassuring yourself. That's all.
Just a few years, we'll be there, bro.
Yes, sir.
Just a few years, we'll be there.
So let's switch it up a little bit. Get it a little lighter. Like what you into? Like you into sports, football, basketball, anything? Like music?
Love sports. Don't watch any of this shit.
Don't watch any of it?
Don't watch. Dallas Cowboys fan all day long. I don't care who doesn't like it out there. Shout out to the Cowboys all day long. I'm sitting across from the Eagles guy. Shout out all day long to my Dallas Cowboys. I bleed Dallas Cowboys since I was little all day long. Since I was a baby. I know we haven't won in a long time, but we're still America's team, and we are those guys. But, no, I mean, you know, I love sports, coach sports for a long time. You know, I mean, president of a sports organization, but as far as like being into sports, I'm into business, to be honest with you.
So let us know what you into.
I mean, I like to read. I like to just learn about business. I mean, that's what moves me. Like really, like learning about business. The more I can, I mean, I'll sit down. I mean, I've sat down and watched hours on hours of Bar Rescue.
That's my shit, bro.
Like that's like one of my
bro.
Like,
yo, he get it
because it's a matter of like restructuring, like seeing something failing and then bringing it back. Like I love that. Like so, it's like
I mean, it's Property Brothers.
Yeah, all that kind of stuff like interests me. And I like to laugh too. Like I say, shout out to my boy Country Wayne. So I definitely go to Instagram. I even try to let it build up a little bit now, because I mean, with the boy Drip he got right now with his character Drip, is just like it's stupid and it's crazy because he actually has like a couple hot records that he came up with just fucking around. Oh, excuse me, I don't know if I can cut, but he's messing around on you know, just I guess on his comedy stuff. I'm like, yeah, he could probably go with one. I mean, Lil Duval did it. You know what I mean? I'm like, I wonder is he really going to like, you know what I mean? Like, I wonder is he going to press the button with it and really like go. I'm like, yo, he got a couple of joints that probably catch wind if he put them out. So, I mean, for me, I mean, that's really it, bro. I like that. I like to travel. You know, in the past 4 years, I've traveled a lot. Me and my lady, we travel a lot. So I like to go. I'm really like addicted to that. I think I like to travel. That's like at the top of my list. I believe it's traveling.
Money nigga thing to say.
Traveling. I mean, because it's motivational to me. When I travel, I come back motivated. One, because you want to keep doing it, right? So you know you have to keep up your grind because you want to continue to do that. But at the same time, when you go places and you see there's other things, I mean, it's beautiful there. I went to Puerto Rico, and you know we went in May, and I loved it. I think she had a great time. The view was everything for me. You know, it was dope. So I love it. I love to travel. That's at the top of my list. Traveling, eat good food too. I like to eat. I like good food. I like to eat. Yeah,
I've been eating a lot of plant-based food lately, so
that's dope. Man. That's dope. I like that. That's one of my ultimate goals. Is I don't know if I could go full vegan. I've kind of did like vegetarian. I don't eat like pretty much like almost really no red meat. Like I'm not a big red meat eater. Definitely no pork, you know, but I'm really trying to like even sometimes I get tired of chicken a little bit sometimes. If I eat it too much, I
had chicken wings the other day and I was sick, bro.
Yeah,
that was the first time I had.
That's a mental thing. You had chicken wings and
he went into it like, man, this will make me sick.
No, bro, it was crown fried.
I don't think I should eat this.
I had no worries.
Stop it.
It was crown fried.
That's more on crown fried than the chickens.
Come on.
Stop it.
I'm not blaming.
Don't insult crown fried.
I'm not blaming chicken for that.
It's been like
I can roll with that.
I'm not
Don't put that on the chicken.
Yeah, we're not putting that on the chicken, bro.
It's been like an ongoing thing. We asked the last couple guests too. How you feel about OJ? OJ Simpson.
I'll guess it. Simpson?
Yeah.
Is something new going on with him?
No.
General beliefs.
General overview. Like,
you think? You asked me, did he do it?
Look,
if
that's basically what they asked.
No, that's not what we ask you. You think he a cool guy? You fuck with him?
To be honest, I don't really know a lot about OJ. I really don't. To be honest with you.
So do you think he did it?
I don't know. Maybe it could have been possible.
I'm gonna say no.
That's what I'm saying. They say he didn't do it, so he didn't do it. I guess
he didn't do it. So like,
I wasn't there.
If you like, I'm on real into like Twitter, right?
Mm-hmm.
And OJ is on Twitter every day. and he's hilarious. Like
I didn't know that.
He gives out like his personal opinion on like pretty much everything going on.
Wow.
From politics to sports to anything.
Wasn't he locked up at one point?
Yeah.
He home now?
For
They
non-murder related crimes.
Wasn't it like for like stealing his own shit?
His own
Murder related
and
crimes.
they gave him the max. They tried.
Yeah, they gave him like
wax
15
him.
for
It
that.
was crazy.
Damn.
They
After
did
you
OJ
get off
dirty.
for murder, bro, you can't
You know
go
they
back
yeah,
in front of a judge.
You know they're gonna hit you for that, especially.
Bro, you can't
That's-
jaywalk
that's
after you
that's
get off
unlawful,
for murder.
though.
Bro.
That's unjust.
No, it's
You're not just gonna do that.
bro.
to
It's
my
called
boy OJ.
It's called knowing the game, bro. You can't go back in front of a judge.
You
after
can't
getting
treat
off.
an innocent man like he
For
was
murder,
he
bro?
Was innocent.
You got off for murder.
He was
bro.
innocent according to y'all. You feel me? Y'all say he was innocent. So you feel
That's
me?
crazy.
Stop messing with him. So yeah, he's just a funny guy. And then like it's this. He just got this real ominous tone to everything he do.
He sounds like he got a secret
I just,
that
you
him
just
won't
gotta,
tell
you gotta
us.
fuck with him. You gotta tap
I don't really know a lot about OJ, man.
Don't
Like,
tap in
I don't.
Tap in with OJ. I'm telling you.
You got any fan questions?
Oh yeah, we got a little segment. People.
So we got a segment at the
Okay.
end of every pod. Get
All
into
right.
a couple fan questions.
Okay.
So we do have one good one. What's your thoughts on R. Kelly saying that he's going to expose people in the industry?
Nah, that's corny that he doing it, but for the bigger
he
sake,
getting a little Nino Brownie.
he need.
Yeah, that's.
he getting a little Nino.
He funny like now. He like fuck it. If I'm going down, y'all niggas go down with me. That's kind of whack, but
like those.
Nah, I fuck with it.
Those people need to go to jail too. But
that's true.
in the mindset of you got caught and now you snitching, that's kind of corny.
That's true.
But
Nah, I
those
fuck
niggas
with
need
it.
to go to jail too, though. So fuck
I'm
it. They did
waiting
it.
to
Lock
see.
them niggas up.
I'm waiting to
I'm
see.
sure it's a lot of people. I'm
It
sure.
is. I
I'm
think
sure.
it's going to break our hearts. Some of the
Burn
things.
that
Yeah,
heart.
I'm
You
sure.
start gassing?
Nah, he
Nah.
going to tell the truth, and we not going to believe him. That's what it's going to be.
No, but if
I'm coming
R.
out with the
Kelly
mindset
throw your
that I'm
name
gonna
out,
believe him,
niggas
yeah.
Oh, you
they
gonna
gonna
believe-
investigate.
I mean, you got to think about it too, though. A lot of those people in the industry, most knew what he was doing, and they just looked the other way with it. You understand what I'm saying to you? So they probably looked the other way because it was a common thing. He wasn't the only one doing it. Because if he was the only one doing it, it would have looked too out of place. But if it's almost like it's a normal thing,
Nigga had a bedroom.
you understand what I'm saying to you? I mean, but that's been going on since
That's
the beginning.
crazy.
The beginning of time, if you think about it, though. I mean, I'm not saying like that it's right or anything like that, but like men of power have always kind of did what they wanted to do. Did what they had their way with women, and it's not right. You know what I mean?
100%,
Bro, that list was long as shit.
Yeah, that's. I mean, to me, that's whack. I've never understood that. I've never want a woman that doesn't want me. I mean, I could see one thing of like you paying for sex and it's like an even exchange. Like, all right, we haven't in this. But if you dealing with a woman, you got to rape somebody. I was like, I never understood people that rape people. How can you enjoy that? I've never understood how to rape. That's literally something in your head, mental, that you really can enjoy that. You fighting somebody, they scratching you, punching you. How do you enjoy that? I don't even like. That's like I've never understood. That's sick. So. And I think like if he did that shit, he's sick. I mean, you listen to his music now. When you listen to the type of music, you like, damn, like shit. Kelly was on some bullshit when he was writing this record. Like, damn. But I mean, sex trafficking is a big thing. Shout out to Pastor Gwen Cook and Camden and all those fighting against that, man. Even those movies like Taken and all that shit is major, bro. Like I have daughters, and females in my family, in my life, and that's a major thing, man. People are trafficking, and boys, too. It's not even just women. It's little boys, too. You know what I mean? So, I mean, I remember the pastor was talking to us one time. She said right in Cherry Hill at one of the hotels, they went in a raid. They took a 4-year-old little boy out of there. Or it was a 4-year-old little boy or a 4-year-old little girl out of the hotel. They ended up trafficking a 4-year-old. What are you going to do with a 4-year-old kid?
That's it.
Even right in North Camden, they took 13 girls, I think, out of a house or something like that. Right in North Camden, that was getting trafficked. Like this stuff go right in, because Camden is a major hub for it. Anywhere where it's a lot of transportation outlets, that's where they traffic a lot of girls. Even she would put us where if you see those signs where they say like need money, call this number, things like that, that's traffickers. So them signs that just like really right in plain sight that you see all the time, and you're not thinking about it. She was like girls that are homeless and like need money and shit like that. They call those numbers. You know what I mean? And they traffic them. Like your kid be going. Your kid live in Camden. Your daughter might be in California being trafficked. Your son or something. Like this is major shit. You know what I mean? Like we live in different time. You know what I mean? Like you look at that movie, even the movie Taken with his friend. They said in the next less than 48 hours. If you won't get her, you'll never see her again. She was a virgin. Like, if you don't get her now, she's gone. Like, you'll never see your daughter ever again. Like, and this shit goes on every single day. This is like, it's a business. There's people that feed their families off of snatching other people's kids. That's the type of world we live in. Shit's crazy out here. But, yeah, so, shout out to everybody listening. Keep your kids next to you close. Shit, even if they adults, your kids go to college and shit like that. You see in that movie, she wasn't a little girl. She was a teenager. You know what I mean? She was like, she was a young adult.
Even with the R. Kelly shit, the parents was involved in that shit. Even on a scale like that, that's
greed. That's greed right there. Even when that's trafficking. That's greed right there.
They wildin'.
That's greed right there.
That's a different level of sick.
Yeah, that's sick. That's very sick. But it's too common. Even in shit, you got to take it to the hood. I know how many crack people in the 80s and all that shit then sold their kids to the dealers for crack. You know what I mean? For what, a dime bag. For a 20. You know what I mean? What I mean? Come on, for a half ounce. You know what I mean? For a quarter. Then sold your daughter. You know what I mean? Come on, man. This shit is real out here. Like, so. It's poverty. Desperation.
On to the next question. Did y'all watch BMF yet?
Yes.
I haven't. I haven't yet. I plan to. I haven't.
Thoughts on it?
I'm fucking with. So you was around during that time, right? Like you was living, like so you aware
she
like
was
the.
living.
That's
probably
like was you outside? I get your question.
Yeah, I was outside during that time.
So you was already like familiar with like the story in general, right?
Absolutely.
So you think it's like ringing true so far, the first 2 episodes of what you know?
Yeah, what I know. Yeah.
Okay,
absolutely.
so it seemed authentic.
It's gonna be anything. 50's involved, bro.
Okay.
And Meat's son and everything. So like I follow them. Like I follow Lil Meech. I follow T and all them on Instagram and all that.
So for those who don't know, the person who's playing Meech in the show is his real son.
That's his real son. Yeah.
That's his real son.
Mm-hmm. He looks just like him too.
So I fuck with the show, man. First 2 episodes.
Yeah,
it's lit.
It's real.
I'm enjoying it.
To me, even with that, like it was one of the books I was gonna bring, which is Why Do White Guys Have All the Fun? And it's about Reginald Lewis, to me, which is really the first black billionaire. And it's like he owned Patrice International Food Company. He bought it for $985 million. Didn't come from money, right from Baltimore. And he said his grandparents used to always tell him that, like, why should white guys have all the fun, right? And this guy was self-made, like really self-made. And I just look at like with Meech started off like just a small corner boy. And to be right now that we're talking about him having a show right now that his son is playing in, that's the world is hearing their story. That's what I talk about, like long game. You know what I mean? Like, and that's what his vision was from the beginning, was not that we just gonna own this shit, that we gonna own all that shit. And people look at you like you crazy when you say that, but like that's how I am. Like I want to prove you. I like when people tell me that I'm not gonna do what the fuck I need to do.
That's even the thing with the show, though.
Yeah, like it's the motivation behind it. Like, and it's like it's not even on for me. It's not even on that level. Like I'm not out here like I want to be a kingpin. It's like nah. I'm like I want to be the biggest fucking businessman I could be. Like period. Like I want my hands in everything. Like when I look at somebody like Hov, that's my guy. Like for real. Like I'm a Hov fan. Like for real. I get upset really if somebody might say something about Hov. Like I take like that's like big with me and Pac. Like I take them personal. You know what I mean? So I look at Hov like it's like I fuck with Wayne too. I look at like him, Baby, P. You feel me? Like Jay Prince. I look at Irv Gotti. I look at people like that built empires. Russell Simmons, from the ground up. Like Hov's a billionaire, my nigga. Like his hands are in everything, bro.
Billionaire, bro.
Like his lady is going to be a billionaire. You feel me? Like so, I look at that shit like, bro, it's possible. Like I said, like he said, my uncle, he's like, I'm a billionaire. My uncle told me I couldn't just sell 1 million records. Think about it now, I'm a billionaire. Like, you know what I'm saying? He's like, my uncle be mad at me when I tell that story, but like, it's true. You just talking about 1 million records, and I'm a fucking billionaire now.
Sell 1 million everything.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? You feel me? Like, so it's like, what are we talking about right now? It's about I don't know, bro. It's about, for me, I do know. It's about long game for me, bro. I'm not even going to hold you. So even the different things that I haven't done yet, I feel like now, like, even my paper company, like, damn, bro, you on a paper company. But, like, I feel like my vision for the next chapter after that, what I'm doing next, is bigger than that. I feel like that right there is just, I'm like, damn, this guy on stupid mode. Like, that's where I want to be at. Like, I'm not on no small shit. Like, I want you really like, damn, like, I want to compete with the big guys. I've never been a person to fight somebody smaller than me. I got to go for the big guys. So if Scott and Johnson & Johnson and Walmart and those guys are the guys, fuck it, because I know Sam Walton and them started, 77% of all billionaires started from zero. That's a huge number. Think about that number. 77% of every billionaire started from zero. Not 1%, 2%, 10%, 77.
That's me.
That let me know I got Ruben there. You feel what I'm saying? That give me I got Ruben and that shit. 77, nigga?
I get a 77.
I get a 77 on the test easy.
Without trying.
Do you feel me? I get that in my sleep. You talking about, oh shit, that mean I got room. Mm-hmm. And at the end of the day, if I don't do it, at least my kids might do it.
Right.
At least I can set them up. I can throw you the oop. Mm-hmm. Oop. I might have better get up there. I could set you up. You feel what I'm saying? And if my kids don't get, at least my grandbabies get a fucking 2 generations out with them bees. All right, that's not bad.
Film Street forever.
You feel me? Like, it's not bad. Period. Yes, we gotta think like that, man. And it's group economics. That's what y'all doing right now. Pulling our money and resources together. That's what they keep us from doing. That's why I wanted to bring that book, Black Wall Street. 600 black-owned businesses, only 10,000 people. At that time, they had over $65 million in the bank in that community. So just imagine right now if you took that land that we just talked about earlier, and 10,000 people lived on that land, had their own bank, their own community. 10,000 people at that time in this day, that's almost equivalent to probably over $500 million. How 10,000 people playing with a $500 million?
That's wealth all around the community.
But then you not even think about it. When was slavery abolished? 1865. That was 1921.
So they got right.
You talking about less than 50, 60 years out of slavery, where you got hung for learning how to read and write. Y'all playing with a $500 million in just one community. Why we not talking about this? See, people, I think we even minimizing that right now. We think about what I'm saying to you.
That's absurd.
In 1865, slavery was done. You would get hung if you knew how to read. So how do you now know how to run a business, buy inventory, market, get product, build, all this shit?
In a span over 60 years.
In 60 years. And you playing with that.
That's one generation.
It's one generation.
That's me. That's me. Ready to get to it.
Can you show me 10,000 people in Camden right now that could put
half the,
just say 2 million?
Yeah, why not?
$2 million?
By the math?
Fine, 10,000.
Think about that.
2 million is not a lot of.
39% of the population live below the poverty line.
Right.
So you
the medium household income in Camden.
You're talking about cumulative.
I'm talking about cumulative. The medium household income in Camden is $21,000.
No, that's ridiculous.
Compared to Cherry Hill, which is upwards of 80 to 90, $21,000. It's the medium household income.
It's ridiculous.
21 bands. That's less than $2,000 a month.
No more fan questions?
None that make sense. The other ones was like stupid.
Ooh,
remember how
like that.
last week somebody asked, would you rather have like somebody that's broke and ugly? I mean, broken and bad, or like
those collar questions?
Yeah, those ones. So somebody asked, would you rather have somebody who look good but she gonna cheat on you?
Is this from the same?
Nah, this is from somebody different. And that's like the wild part. But just to entertain it, would you rather be with somebody who pretty that's going to cheat on you or somebody that's ugly that's...
I don't want to be cheated on. So
Exactly. Give me the ugly one.
Yeah.
I know you're going to be home when I get back. I ain't got to worry about it. I'm just going to the store.
Shit, somebody might like that ugly person, though. You can't bank on that. Just because they might be beautiful to somebody else. Shit.
One man's trash.
I don't think nobody's going to ask to get cheated on to that fan. But yeah, that's all the fan questions, bro. Did y'all watch Squid Games?
No, bro. I told you I'm not watching.
See, so we skirted all that. Niggas had a lot of Squid Games questions.
I'm not watching it, bro.
Why not?
That's on Netflix?
Yeah.
I've seen that skip past it.
I'm going to start watching it tonight.
Look, I'm not watching it strictly because they talking in their language and it's an English voiceover, so like it don't match, and I'm not watching that, bro.
So you ain't used to watch old like kung fu
watch
movies?
Anime all the time.
Anime is different because they're animated.
You still reading
the
something.
words still match like what they saying, like, and because they not real people, they not really talking. They really just opening their
bro,
mouth
you
and
missing
closing
out like on a lot of good movies. That's like
so that was a no.
Like,
You never
no,
watched.
Bro, I was
old
never
kung-
watching those. How y'all
bro.
bro?
It's a movie
I
called
can't be
like
like, come on, you would not defeat me.
bro. The movies was hard though.
I never was into that type
Look,
of
you
shit.
feel me?
fuck
So,
with
and
those
that's
things.
how Squid Game is. I'm not watching that.
Yeah, I was never into that.
Excel, you feel me? Cat, I watched the next viral one.
Okay, fair enough.
That's the next trend.
Yeah.
Did you watch it?
No, Brett did, but I didn't watch it.
Okay. So yeah, that's why we had a lot of Squid questions.
Keep that to the Hank Hive.
Yeah, that's a personal. DM all those Squid Games question directly to Hank.
He'll love to chat with you.
I might not watch that shit, bro.
You said you're not gonna watch it?
I might not. I watched the Dave Chappelle joint today.
I haven't watched that yet.
Yo, that shit is funny.
I didn't even know it came out until today.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The Closer. It's on Netflix. It just uploaded
New
today.
stand up?
It's a
Yeah, that's
stand-up?
what
Yeah,
I'm
he said
watching
it's his last one for a little minute.
Oh, wow.
Oh, he did
It was
another
hot.
stand-up?
Yo, I was crying.
Oh, I'm gonna have
That's
to
a
watch
sign,
that
bro.
when I get to the crib, man.
Bro, that nigga, yo, he the greatest, bro.
Somebody gotta take a spot.
He the greatest, bro. Maybe, yeah, right. Might be a chance.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all like Kevin Hart?
Oh, yeah. I went to go see Kevin Hart when he came to Camden.
His stand-up be lackluster to me sometimes.
I like him.
Stand-up had me on my ass.
Nah, bro, I went to see him at the Link, bro, when he shot that
Yeah,
first
I remember
movie.
that.
He funny, but I
I
don't know.
seen him in the hood. That shit was hilarious.
It was different in the hood.
It was tough, bro. It was nonstop laughter. I fucked with it.
Where at in Camden?
It was at downtown, at the waterfront.
BB&T.
That's what's going on. They changed the name, so I ain't. They
There's
always
been a
It
lot
used to be the
different
Tweeter
things.
Center.
Yeah, it was the Tweeter Center and the
That
Susquehanna.
shit changes every
So
10
you
years.
feel, I ain't want to be incorrect, but yeah, I seen him there.
He cool though. I like his movies more than the stand-up.
Yeah.
I think that's it. You got anything that's on your mind?
She's naive.
Did you reach out to the contest winner?
Did I reach out to the contest winner?
Yeah.
Yeah, I reached out to the contest winner.
Okay.
You don't hit me back, you don't get your money.
Raffle.
Oh shit.
Because obviously you ain't money.
Bread.
How you gonna get your money if I don't know your information?
They hit you
So,
back.
you feel me? That was our first raffle. We looking to get into another one. Giving out a little bit of chicken. You probably get in on the next one.
Okay.
The code word for the raffle though was OJ.
Yeah, that's why we was talking about it. I'm glad we could put OJ to bed now. We ain't gotta talk about OJ.
OJ
no
with
more.
us forever.
Nah,
That's my guy.
We can leave him right where he at.
Until they catch him, he out.
Bro. Yeah, that's it, bro. That's all I got.
Well, that's it. Appreciate you for coming through.
That's it.
Yes, sir.
And I had a great time. This was most definitely lit.
It was a quality conversation.
Most definitely lit. Appreciate you. Everybody listening, fellas, for being here. We'll catch you in the next one. Peace.